What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Jacksonville Jaguars Fan Battle podcast, a member of the Fan Battle Sports Network. I am one of your hosts, Matthew G. Sports, joined by Cody Cold. What's up, man?
What's going on, everybody?
Another day, another dollar. Not for the Jaguars. So, just like any other week, let's go ahead and just dive right into it, man. The Jaguars hosted the Houston Texans in what should have been an easy win for the Jaguars, with Houston Texans coming in with a rookie quarterback and their like 10th string. Name the position. It's going to be like a fifth stringer. So it was the recipe that a perfect recipe for the Jaguars to come out with a super win, finally put everything together after a horrific second week, and that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. Um, I don't know where to start because there's so many issues across the board for the Jaguars, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So I don't know. Where do you want to start, Cody?
Can we just can I just call in sick? Like, we just not do this?
Yeah, that's I think we all tried that. Oh,
So
sound
I
chubby.
went to the game, and we have
Oh,
14 players out. I'm embarrassed for y'all. I'm
I didn't
embarrassed.
know.
I'm
Yeah.
embarrared.
No, that I before you start,
I thought about not posting. Go ahead.
I was just say before you start, I do want to put this out there that um I thought we were gonna spank the Texans. We got spanked. So all those Texans fans that want to come in and dish it at us, like we deserve it. Like honestly, we 120% deserve the humbling that's coming our way because of all the smack that we talked in the preseason and in the game before, even the hours leading up to the game. We deserve all of it. Uh CJ Stroud, the dude looks like the real deal. Again, it was a recipe, perfect recipe for us to be able to get sacks, for us to be able to put up points. We did none of that against the Houston Texans. I give kudos to them. I think part of it is also because of that curse that the Texans have for some reason over us in Jacksonville. But so yes, Houston owned us, and I'll own that. So, anyways, Cody,
Yeah, so I went to the game. I took my son there. Um,
was that his
we
first?
no, no.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah. So we enjoyed some time at this lab. He did his first circle up, which was cool. He had a bottle of water that he chugged at the end of it. So
Nice.
all that was fun, and it usually is. Man, those are great people to be around. Like
Hey, real
Jack's
quick,
fan.
real quick. Real quick, for those that don't know, can you just kind of talk to them about what the circle up is? And because I've never been to one.
So yeah, man. Jack's fans and Jack's culture or whatever is a fun group of people. Bold City Brigade and Till Street Hooligans are two of the groups that are out there at the slab. And I'm speaking on one of them, Cap. He and this is from what I got or whatever. He's a soccer fan, so he wanted to bring like the soccer culture as far
Mhm.
as like being fans of a sport or whatever to
Yeah.
the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the circle up is everybody stands in a circle, people run around, and at the end of it they go Jaguars, Jaguars, Duval, right? And everybody
Nice.
like chugs whatever they got, right?
Nice.
So that was fun, man. It always is. It's a really good time to be down there and be a Jags fan. Um, but then walking to the stadium is where like your energy starts getting sapped because it's midday sun, in Florida, and it's an
Yeah.
issue, man.
It was a scorcher out there again.
Yeah. So 101. I'm sunburned. 101 people were hospitalized at the Kansas City game,
Yeah.
and I was about to be 111. Like or 102.
Yeah.
So um, so we get there, we get inside. We got our bottles of water. We bought Powerade and stuff. It's not enough, man. It really isn't, especially for like me. Like I was like drinking pretty much that whole time, all the way up until that point.
Yeah.
Um, so we get to our seats and I look out and we're just like not performing well at any point of the game. Like it just didn't feel good, right? At any moment, really. Like there was like a couple of ETN runs that were okay. The Calvin Ridley drop pass really sucked. Like sapped a lot of energy out of
Yeah.
people. We're dying out there too. Like
Yeah.
I put this towel over the top of my head or whatever, and like, I don't know if anybody ever has ever, people watching or whatever, they probably live in the South. You know how it is when you like get in your car after a hot day. Yeah, it felt like that out there.
Just an oven.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's miserable, man. The whole experience was miserable, and I did something that I'm not proud of. I did something that was even more embarrassing, um, than the loss itself. I left the game. I left. I took my son or whatever, and we got out of there. I was like, "There's no there's no way." Like, if
Was
the
there a
team
lot of that?
if the team was winning, if we were performing differently or whatever, I wonder if I would've made a different choice.
Was there a lot of that? Like, were there a lot of fans leaving around the
Yeah,
time you left?
yeah,
Okay.
and I mean, the stadium was like, people were trying to get out of that sun or whatever as much as possible. People were in the,
Yeah.
the bud zone. People were standing in the concourse and watching the game, and it doesn't feel any better in there either. There was like no escape from it,
Yeah, the
really.
humidity, the shade does not provide you safety from the humidity.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, man, I got into my car, dude, and I started driving. And I was like,
Dude, that's a long drive. That's a long
yeah,
drive. After a loss like that, dude, that had to been long.
yeah. I put on the radio, tried to listen to the rest of the game, and it was just like,
That's
I
tough.
don't know. Yeah, it was, man. It was like, out of all the games that I went to, of all the sports moments that I had, and the worst part is like I'm indoctrinating my son to be a part of this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, this is what it's like to be a
Like,
Jags fan, let's be honest.
yeah. I mean, hopefully he gets a better future out of the deal. Hopefully, that stadium deal gets done and there is some sort of shade, and then they do start caring about like the fans' comfort levels.
Yeah.
I mean, when we took a tour there when I worked for a dealership in Jacksonville, and we sold some vehicles to the Jaguars. We got a tour of the stadium with the mascot without
Mhm.
his get up on. I won't tell you anything about that because I guess it's a secret. But he was telling us like look at what the sun is doing out here. Like the seats are
Yeah.
faded. The pride of the Jaguars thing they put up like a couple years before is like faded out. I mean, the sun
Yeah.
is literally eating the stadium. And then I'm not going to get into like the ground level stuff, whatever. That's worse. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't.
Uh,
I just hate like how bad everything was.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
like
The, uh
there's no good area where you could be like, well, at least we got this,
no,
It,
you're
no,
right.
yeah, it sucked all the way around.
You're right.
Yeah.
Um, I'll say so I didn't go to the game, obviously, I watched it on TV, and I'll say one of the first shots that the TV showed was one of the pools filled with Texans fans. And so, that was kind of like a prelude to what was about to happen, that the Texans were about to own our stadium, starting with the pools. I'll say this though, and you'll have to tell me from the TVs from again watching TV, it looked like there were a lot of empty seats. Now I'm sure it being the Texans, that's not a huge draw, obviously, because the when the Chiefs were in town, that was filled. But with the Texans being in town, that's not going to be a huge draw. Plus the heat, I'm sure played a factor in that. But did you notice a significant amount of empty seats?
So at first you're waiting for the game to start, so seats are starting to fill up.
Right, right, right.
And then it got to a point where it wasn't just me. You know what I mean? Like there was like other people like we gotta you gotta handle your own health at that point. So
Yeah.
it's just like so they started vacating, and it's like um so they go to the bud zone, like I said, and they go to the
Mhm.
concourse and all that stuff, whatever. And there's no
Okay.
cameras in there. there's no cameras in there. So, but the
Right.
stadium was, and there was a lot of people there, but they just weren't out in the stands or whatever. And I don't blame
Right.
them.
No, that makes sense, especially if you're losing. Who wants to leave the semi comfort of the shade for a hard chair? So no, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Let's go
yeah.
to
I
the
mean,
comments. Let's go to
yeah,
the
and
comments real quick.
it
I
was
don't
like
want to lose any of these.
midday sun or whatever, and there was no shit, wind coming in there. So
So from YouTube, we have a comment from Third Ward. I guess Houston Texans, probably what it is. It's hard to win in the NFL. Jags will be a go okay. Go Texans. It's nice to hear some comfort from a Texans fan after them destroying us. But you're right. It's only 3 games in. Really, you can't really tell how a season's gonna go. For the most part, you need to be about 8 games in to see where a team's at. But even then, like, you still have a lot more game. Like, look at the Jaguars last year. We had a horrible first half, and then we figured it out. So 3 games in, obviously a lot of this is overreaction, but still it stings to lose the way that we did. Next comment. Robert from YouTube says too much talent to fail. Jags will be fine. Hopefully. I had seen, I
and
guess
shout
that,
out to Robert.
a lot of
I just want to shout out Robert real quick. He's on like every single one of our videos,
he
man.
is.
Appreciate you.
He is. Shout out to Robert. We'll have to have him come on the show one day. Um, there's a lot of face Jaguars fan groups that I'm in on Facebook, and I know a lot of people were talking about obviously the loss, but they were talking about how Doug Peterson, a big part of the loss was potentially Doug Peterson forcing oh my gosh, why the offensive coordinator
Press Taylor.
Press Taylor, thank you. Forcing Press Taylor down our throats and proving that he can, in fact, coach or call plays. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but here we go. Robert Irwin from Facebook says it reminds me of 2018 after we gave our all and finally beat the Patriots. Even though we didn't beat the Chiefs, we played very hard, and I'm wondering if back-to-back home games in that heat fatigued our guys. I was thinking the same thing. This is a different team, though. I just think it was just kind of like what Josh Allen was saying. Can we please determine what Indian burial site the Jag Stadium is built on and find a way to undo the curse? The curse, man. Yeah. So what Josh Allen is alluding to is that for some reason, regardless of who is playing for the Jaguars, the Texans at any given time, the Texans come into our house and beat us every year. Every year. For some reason, I don't know. Last year, Josh Allen went to the game when the Texans came early on in the season. It was scorching hot. I remember him telling me how it was a miserable experience just being there, and then the Texans beating us was just icing on the cake. So that's kind of what he's alluding to. Maybe there's a curse for some reason. Again, the Jaguars could have had Tom Brady and every all-pro wide receiver and offensive line from the past 20 years, and we still would have lost to the Texans. That's just for some reason how it goes. Kind of like when we beat the Colts at home, regardless of who they have at the home and who we have at the home. So I don't know what it is.
I mean, so there was like
Brown Chubby Bear says,
there was penalties, there was drops. We let a fullback run 90 yards on us. Like stuff like that just doesn't happen unless there's like some sort of like we beat ourselves mentality or whatever. But it's crazy. It's
yeah,
insane. It was weird to watch, and it feels bad. Like, and nobody feels the air or whatever just gets taken out of like the stadium and everybody, and there is no like momentum on our side in our own house. Like it's so yeah.
Brown Chubby Bear says, do you guys think you'll be able to stop? Dude, he is good. Bijan Robinson for the Falcons. The dude is a stud. I'd like to think so. Desmond Ritter is a very limited quarterback, so you'd think that we could tee up on Bijan and hopefully stop him. But I think so. I think we'll be able to beat Atlanta. But Robinson, kudos again. That guy's a stud. And Brown Chubby Bear, I said it earlier, but I do want to give you guys kudos. It looks like CJ Stroud. Again, it's only 3 games into the season, but Stroud, dude is balling, and you can tell he's very savvy when it comes to his football IQ. I'm sure he's smart, everywhere else, but on the field, you could tell. Because I'll be honest, I was watching him like a hawk during the game, just trying to pick apart his game. At times, I thought maybe he was playing a little bit too safe, but if you end up with the win, I mean, he made some good throws too, but I don't know. I think there's again three games in, we'll see. So
Man, fuck CJ Stroud, dude. I hope he never completes another pass.
Josh Allen says, I purposefully didn't go this year in case I was curing the team. Nope. Maybe it's just the Fan Battle podcast because Josh went last year, Cody went this year.
Sam was there too.
Sam's always there, so it doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
At least I hope not. Third Ward says, seems like Jags looked past Houston. I don't think we looked past Houston. I think we didn't come out to play, man. Like, play calling was bad, the execution was bad. It was on everybody. It wasn't just Press Taylor this time. It was execution just wasn't there as well. So Robert Irwin, it was like Angels in the outfield, and they had the Angels.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, man.
It's a good movie. Jags can stop the run all day. Jags were so bad on Sunday, they made an OSU QB look good. So for those of you who don't know, inside joke, or I don't know if it's a joke, but Josh Allen and a couple of us believe that Ohio State does not produce a good quarterback. So, which they haven't really, honestly. So we'll see if CJ is the one to break that streak.
Why so hard on CJ?
CJ Henderson sucks, bro.
Because
he never did anything for us.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Now, why so hard on CJ, man? Because he came into my house and beat my team, man, and made me leave at halftime, dude. Nobody else has done that. And I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan, and he damn near gave me a heart attack in that playoff game. I'm so sick of seeing him, dude, and he's in my division. It sucks.
Yeah, but at least your Bulldogs pulled it out. Jaguars did not. Leslie Allen Turner Jr. from Facebook says, do you think because you had a last place scheduled last year, you're not that good? No. I mean, because I just think, we're 3 games in. The Bengals are reeling. I know that they finally won a game last night. The Chiefs aren't firing on all cylinders. Like, there's just a lot of teams with elite quarterbacks and recently good teams that just aren't putting it all together. So I don't think so, because the Texans aren't a good team. And
Ohio never has. Go Dogs. Yes, sir.
Agnew needs to stick to returns. I was surprised at how many times we heard his name. Zay Jones was out. So for those that don't know, Zay Jones, I guess he'd be wide receiver 3 for us, was out. He was a late scratch, I guess, in the week. And Agnew, he did pretty well. I heard his name several times throughout the game. I thought he did all right, but I kind of agree. Did it look like that they were kicking away from him?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Which is respect, right? Like if you're not catching the ball and they're kicking away from you, that's respect, right?
Out of our other wide receivers, like Agnew gets a lot of shit because he fumbled in 3 times on the last 4 games that he's been in at wide receiver. So, it's crazy though. Like our other wide receivers are getting away with dropping passes. Like at least he held on to him long enough for him to fumble.
Yeah, he had 4 catches for 50 yards. So he had 5 targets. So he did pretty good.
Yeah, well enough, I guess. It's just like those drop passes and fumbles, man, are killing us.
Yeah,
led the league in drop passes last year, and it's looking like it's going to happen again. And I was hoping in the offseason, like when Calvin Ridley coming in, I was thinking that this was going to be somewhat settled or whatever. I don't know what it is, dude. Get them different gloves.
I don't know, man. All those gloves, they pretty much have like glue on them.
That's what I mean. Yeah, my son can catch a ball with like one of those. I'm not saying it's he's not it. It's not an NFL situation or whatever. But there was like I seen a clip from Calvin Ridley when he was on the Falcons, and he looks towards the hit instead of like watching the ball lock in.
Mhm.
Like I guess he's like confident enough in his abilities where he doesn't, feel like he needs to look
Right,
at the ball, and he could start
right,
looking towards the next step. But
right.
dude, look the ball in, man. It's not something's not working.
Yeah, for last week, let's see, for receiving, Ridley had 7 targets and only 3 receptions, so that hurt us tremendously. So let's see. Let's go back to the comments. Robert Irwin. Good news is there are only 3 undefeated teams right now. It's all still very close except Miami. They're way out in front. I think they just scored again. That was
They're
nuts.
they're scary this year, which is insane. Like if somebody sees them, it's so funny because like I've seen other comments and stuff of people like fans of other teams that look down into like December or something like that when they're playing the Dolphins and like they're starting to get nervous already. Like,
Well, let's just wait till week 8 when Tua gets hurt. It's
yeah,
inevitable, man. I don't want to put that juju on him. I wish the best, but until he changes his ways, we'll see. Brown Chubby Bear says, I think the division is wide open. Now that we finally have a franchise quarterback, anything's possible. Colts seem like they got something going on too.
oh my god, you give these Texans fans a little bit of hope and they run 40 miles
No.
with it, dude. Come on. This
Listen, they beat us.
division is not open. It still belongs to the Jags. Y'all just have this weird thing where like y'all beat us at home, and that's it. That's your Super Bowl. That's your Super Bowl. I mean, we get it. Like you're not good. You didn't expect to be good or whatever. So when you beat the Jags, you were like, maybe we are. Don't put that into your head, and don't put that into other Texans fans' head because it's gonna hurt worse when you are not. I mean, just
Listen,
be real, VT. Come on, man.
the division is not wide open. The Colts are. I said in the preseason. I think it's Jaguars, Colts, Titans, Texans. You might be able to flip the Titans and the Texans. We all didn't know what CJ Stroud had, and Tannehill's Tannehill, right? And I guess Derrick Henry's on the hitting that old age is showing out. But no, I don't think it's wide open. I still think the Jaguars we're way too talented. We're way too deep. We have good coaching. We're literally 3 games in. We'll figure it out. Like the rest of the year, we still have what 15 games to go. We'll figure it out. We'll run away with the division. And yes, I do think CJ Stroud is up and coming. Maybe with 3 games in, again, 3 games. We still have so much football to go, guys. So, but again, kudos.
Everyone,
They do
yeah,
deserve the
everyone,
kudos. They did get the win. They came in our house, they spanked us, and walked away with the dub. So do we have to give them that?
yeah, cool. Anyway, everyone thought the Cowboys were dominant until the Cardinals. Thank you.
Yeah, any given
That's yeah,
Sunday.
that's exactly my point. When is the parade in Houston? They're acting like Stroud is Tom
What is
Brady reincarnated. Yes, they are, and I'll give you an example. Stroud has 906 yards, a 65% completion or whatever. Lawrence has been subpar, and maybe yeah, but this wide receiver core has led the leagues in drops.
Yes.
What do you?
Yes, but we need to give kudos where they deserve it, but it's 3 games in. Like, when was the last time a Super
But
Bowl was given
I
for the
just,
first when was the last time a Super
I
Bowl
mean,
was given after the first 3 weeks? Never. Ever.
yeah.
Right? So you guys can parade around after these first 3 weeks, but the Jaguars will run away with the division and they will host the AFC Championship game on their way to the Super Bowl. I still believe it.
Outside of touchdowns, Stroud and Lawrence's numbers were identical on Sunday. Thank you. Teams haven't adjusted to CJ Stroud yet. It gets harder as it goes on. When teams have more film on him and take away what he is good at, and then he could really prove himself. That's a very good point for many other rookie quarterbacks entering the league with new schemes and stuff like that. But he is the better of the rookie quarterbacks at the moment, so we give him that at least. But don't act like he's a savior or whatever. Like, yeah, he's
Three ball.
gonna get y'all more wins than y'all thought, but
Yeah.
you're not running away with the division already. Come on.
3 Bumbles, 3 games. I've seen enough. I think that was oh wait, where'd it go? 3 Bumbles, 3 games. I've seen enough. I think he was talking about
Yeah, he's talking about Agnew.
Agnew, yeah. I'm not giving Agnew any crap. He's our return guy. He does what he can on offense for us. Like, I'm not gonna kill him for that. Keep saying you had a last place schedule. Yeah. We still played the Chiefs early on in the season. We played like last year, we played the Chiefs during the regular season. We played the Chargers during regular season. Like, yeah, we had a last place schedule, but we still had to play a bunch of tough teams, and we won the division. So. Oh yeah, we heard that one.
Yep.
Dallas sucks just because they don't have a good QB. Again, 3 weeks. They dominated those first two, and then the Cardinals out of nowhere. Holy crap. 72 Dolphins. Outside of TDs, guess TDs don't matter anymore, Josh. Stroud had all day to throw while Barch and Interior gave Trevor under 2 seconds to throw. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, all three phases is what they kept saying. Like just
I mean, their
underperformed.
offensive
They couldn't
line was
execute.
like they were scraping from the bottom of the barrel for the offensive line. There was no reason Josh Allen or Trevin Walker shouldn't have walked away with 2 sacks apiece. There is no excuse for that. Yeah, they probably he's a rookie quarterback still, and they probably game plan for him to get the ball out quickly. But still, there's no reason that they shouldn't have walked away with 2 sacks apiece. It's
There was
upsetting.
like two plays that I watched. Trayvon wasn't on the field, right? And then so they had like Chase on one side, I guess, and then they had Josh Allen on the other, and they dropped back into coverage. And then they rushed the three interior defensive linemen. So it was like, what is going on? That they're weak there or whatever. So just like attack it maybe, right? But I guess when you have CJ Stroud throwing out to like blind coverage or whatever, because Darius Williams missed some assignments that I don't normally say his name, so
Yeah.
he hasn't really done that before.
Yeah.
Um, and so I guess they were accounting for that or whatever, and then just decided, I guess that was scheme too, or whatever. But then there was like other times where I seen Trayvon just do that same old bull rush style move
Yeah.
towards Stroud or whatever, and bro, like put some other tools in your bag.
Yeah.
It's time now, whatever.
No, 100%. Like,
Yeah.
throw a little spin out there. Even if you don't get it, it's better than just bull rushing every single time. Josh Allen says, if the Jags are as terrible as Texans fans are saying, the Stroud's numbers weren't that impressive. Can't have it both ways. Thank you. This is Kyle Grant. Humble. Dak is Tannehill with better marketing. Don't do Dak like that. Don't do Dak like that. Dak's better than Tannehill.
That's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of true.
I'm fine if the Jags go all transfers next draft. Yeah. Yeah. I was right about Trevin Walker all along. He's a bust. I'm not calling him a bust yet, but I'm agree with Josh and I are in the same boat. Trevin Walker was not the pick. Aiden Hutchinson was the pick. And I still today would draft Hutchinson over Walker. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm starting to swing that way too, actually.
But I think Walker has the skill set. I think he doesn't have a skill set. He has the physical abilities and traits to do it. Like you said, he needs to do something. Swim move, use your hands, do something. Yes, you're big, strong, and powerful, but you got to have some finesse to your game.
I mean, I think Dan Campbell takes some credit in that too. So
Lawrence is playing scared. I wouldn't say he was playing scared. He's off his
go
game.
to the next one. He said, let that bitch fly. Like, so the play calling or whatever. That's why a lot of Jags fans were upset, and it showed like, what was it, like 70 something? No, it wasn't that much. It was a lot though. It was like behind the line. They were like throwing bubble screens, stuff like that. Play actions, yeah. And it was like, but he is, I think, second in the league with the longest shots taken. It's just, if our wide receivers can catch these balls, we're having a different conversation about Lawrence, which is crazy.
Sauce was the pick. I don't think anybody knew Sauce was going to be as good as he turned out to be, but I wish, we go back. If we can go back, I mean, maybe we would pick Sauce, but We need somebody who can get to the quarterback. So I'd still go for Hutchinson. Play action
That was,
screens. Take a shot. Yes.
yeah. I mean, going back at it, whatever, this is 2020 vision, but like, a lot of Jags fans were saying Aiden Hutchinson should have been the pick, or whatever, and they saw something in him that I didn't, I guess, and it took me a while to lean over to that side of the field. But yeah, it's like that was our need, and that's what we should have got. But I felt okay with Josh Allen, or whatever, especially like I said, like him coming up on a contract year and all that stuff, whatever he needs to
Yeah.
be making those numbers in order to get what he wants as far as pay goes. And it's wild to me that you don't do that. Like that's your whole job, man. Come on. I mean, you got
Yeah.
they got the three against Richardson. You got some pressures against Mahomes, and then he just didn't show up against Stroud. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah. This was their opportunity, and I again I just don't understand why they didn't take advantage of it. Again, part of it I'm sure was scheming by the Houston side, but again, 4 quarters you got to get to them at least twice piece. I mean, it was a bad game. It was a bad game. Set the running up. Evan Ingram owned Sauce.
That's
Imagine being a generational talent and playing scared in year 3.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
he
he was playing
was.
scared. Like someone said he was playing scared, but I don't think he was playing scared. I think his throws are off. I think his receivers were dropping the ball, and his offensive line wasn't giving him any time. Although, thanks for stopping by, Harish. He's the commentator for the Colts on the Fan Battle Sports Network, as well as a commentator for the college side of the Fan Battle Network for the Texas Longhorns. Be sure to tune in. Go looking Jaguars. Let's go history. I was screaming sauce from the rooftops, I swear. Oh, probably. Probably. I think a lot of people were screaming a lot of names, and none of them were Walker. Kyle
most
Ranch
I
is going
heard
to
was most I heard was Aiden Hutchinson and Brian Branch from Jags
Yeah.
fans, which is
As
crazy
we
that
go,
the Lions picked those two people, or whatever. And it's they keep talking about it, like even like most of like the off season, and then now and then the beginning of the season, especially since like Trayvon Walker isn't performing well. And I'm like, bro, like you can just go be a Lions fan. Like you don't have to like keep doing this to yourself, right?
yeah. No. Um, yeah, so it was a bad week. And um, in response to that week, if you go and look at across the interwebs and you look at the updated power rankings, the national media is not being kind to the past 2 weeks for us. So, for instance, ESPN currently has us sitting at 19th on their power rankings. That's dropped 9 spots where we were at 10th last week. And Michael Duraca, who is the ESPN person for the Jaguars, and he made a good point. He said it's essentially a lot of it. There's a lot of things that are wrong with the team, but one of the biggest is our third down production. We're at 29.7%. If you're not converting on third down, you're killing your offense and you're keeping your defense on the field for longer drives. So, yeah, they have us at 19th. I was looking at another poll. Let's see, the U Stadium has us. They're a little bit more friendlier. They have us at 15th. So, some good graces there. But I don't know, man. What do you think about those rankings? Where would you? Again, it's only 3 weeks. It's still overreaction, I think. But where do you have us at?
So last year there wasn't like as high of expectations nearly because
Right.
we didn't make the playoffs the year before, so it's like it's just the Jags, and we gave a lot of excuses, like it's Peterson's first year, it's a lot of these people's first year under the offense or whatever, and the defense as well because they changed the scheme, so there wasn't as much pressure on the players themselves or whatever, and they felt that like.
Yeah.
And this season so far, I forget who said it, man. I wish I could remember. But they interviewed him after the game, and he said that
Mhm.
There was a lot of pressure on themselves to perform well, and maybe too much. Maybe I'm thinking that they all got into their own heads, or whatever, because there's some sort of just to chill out. They need
Yeah.
to they need to relax and make the plays. So, what was the
Yeah,
question?
I think that's part of it. What were you saying?
What I said? What was the question?
Oh, no.
I just went on this tangent and
Um,
forgot.
oh, right, the tangent. Yes. Um, I was talking about the power rankings. For instance, ESPN has us at 19th.
Oh
We're
yeah,
still the
yeah. So
highest.
the rankings,
We're
the
still
rankings.
they still have us as the highest ranked team in the AFC South. So they didn't give a lot of credit to the Texans
So
for that win.
that was one ranking I seen, and we dropped like 10 spots. The Texans moved up 9. Um, but then they had Cowboys only dropped 4 after they lost to the Cards. So I was like, man, this just seems like some Jaguar shit.
Yeah, I mean power rankings are kind of silly.
Yeah, like
But
that.
they give
The national media doesn't care about us or whatever. It is strange saying that, and then next week against the Falcons, we're going to be in Andy's room.
yeah.
Yeah,
Robert
that's gonna be
Irwin
weird. How do you feel about that?
about what?
About being in Andy's room?
In Andy's room?
Yeah, about the game being played in Andy's room at Pixar Animation. You haven't seen it? The Falcons
Um,
and the Jags
yeah,
in London
yeah,
are going to be
yeah.
simulcast. Okay.
Where are they playing that at? Is it Nickelodeon? No.
No, Disney Plus. I didn't know you didn't know this.
They're just adding graphics, right? Like it's just different graphics.
No, it's gonna be simulcast. It's like they're gonna be like toys from Toy Story.
Yeah, but that's not the only way you will be able to watch the game, right? Like,
No, no, no. It's not gonna be. Yeah, it's
right.
gonna
It's
be like
just one of the ways
alternative.
that you can watch the game.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. They're all these streaming networks are trying to like Nickelodeon plays football games and they have like green slime go across the screens. I think they do that on like Thursday night. So like, I mean, it's just all these networks are trying to get a piece of the pie, right? That's all this is. So I mean, whatever. Maybe it'll give some kids a reason to watch, but we're getting a lot of comments. I just kind of want to address those. So Robert Irwin says it was never the play calling last season when we had those magic comebacks. Trevor was reading the defense and checking to the right plays. Reference the QB room had Christian Kirk on after last season. In 25 minutes, he said, when Trevor calls his own plays, that's when the magic happens. We'll see. We'll see. Again, 3 weeks. 3 weeks, everybody. Calm down. Yes, we lost. We'll give him that. But dadgum, we are a much better team than what we've shown, and they'll figure it out. Trevor needs his hands on the ground inside like Georgia. He gets sacks on guards. Put Abdullah outside or Roy Robinson. Yeah, I'm surprised Abdullah hasn't done as much, but it's only 3 weeks, so come back again after week 8 and see where everyone's at. The national media had you guys as AFC favorites. The issue is that you guys have sucked. We have sucked. We're better than what we've put on the field. We are the best team in the AFC South. We're one of the better teams in the entire AFC. We haven't put it together in 3 weeks. Fortunately, it's a 17 game season, and we'll figure it out. We have the talent and the leadership to do it. It's funny Minshew put Colts in the lead in the division. I mean, it's Minshew mania. Minshew mania continues in Indy. The Jags are going to be cartoon. How appropriate.
You got your little pinky up as you said some smart ass shit like that, dude. Hold up, I want to get back to this one. National media had you guys as AFC favorites. AFC favorites?
They did. A lot of people had us going to the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship game at least. Most people did.
Okay. I mean, I saw some people say it, but I didn't know how credited they were. I just thought it was like
I mean, a lot of
something to
big
say
names
for
did put
click.
a lot of big names, put our names in their mouth, and rightfully so. But everybody, even the national pundits, know that it's all speculation. And once the football hits the turf, then it really matters. But they also know that 3 games does not define a season. So we'll see come the final record at week 17, or I guess game 17, and who's laughing then. So yeah, we're already 40 minutes into one of the worst weeks as a Jaguars fan because we lost to the freaking
Yeah.
Texans. Careful with the name calling. They used to call Trent a clown, then he turned into Pennywise. Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh, what was I
Dude,
just saying? Oh, yeah.
so our draft class under Urban Meyer was far better than anything Trent Baalke has done so far. And a lot of people were calling for
Wait,
Trent
say that
Baalke's
again.
head. What part?
You just kind of froze for a second.
Oh, so Urban Meyer's draft class has been better than Baalke's draft class. That's a hot take, right?
Well, Balky and Urban were together that same draft.
Okay, well then something changed because that draft class when Urban was here was better than anyone since.
That was a good draft cast. That was odd.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So yeah, we're 40 minutes in. I kind of just wanted to close it out, but I just wanted to say, this as a Jaguars fan, this has been one of the toughest losses because we have one of the most talented teams in the National Football League, and we lost to one of the least talented teams in the National Football League. I think partly because of a curse that we just don't understand. And I'm not sure what the other part is, but we are not looking like the elite team that we are, especially losing to a non-elite team like the Houston Texans, a bottom of the league feeder. And that's what they are. So that's what makes it extra tough. And we lost at home. It always stinks when you lose to a JV team when you're at home, knowing that you are better than that. So hopefully next week in London, across the pond, while they're sipping on some tea and eating some scones, they put it all together and limit Robinson, because Robinson for the Falcons has been a baller. But Desmond Ritter is, he's not a world beater. So hopefully we wash the stink off of us in England and walk away with a dub. Urban did spend the years prior covering college football. He had advantage in the draft, but that was about it. That could be it. Also,
See, I wouldn't be like against bringing Urban back just to help with the draft.
I mean, that's a bold. He'd have to work remotely because I'd be scared he'd be kicking our players. So,
yeah.
Any final thoughts from you for this game? Rants, raves?
No, no thoughts.
No
Let's
thoughts.
let's just like next week. Hurry up, please.
Yeah. Well, Cody, where can we find you on the interwebs?
At Cody Cole Gaming on Twitter, and then at Jaguars Fan Battle on Twitter.
Also, he joins the main. So Fan Battle Sports Network has a main podcast that they do each week, and he's one of the commentators that will go there occasionally. Players will jump Urban in a dark alley. That's one of the reasons he's got to work remotely. You can find me on Twitter at Matthew G Sports, as well as TikTok and all the other socials. We are the Jaguars Fan Battle, a member of the Fan Battle Sports Network. If you go to fanbattlesports.com at the bottom, you can find our content along with other content from teams across the AFC South, as well as our recent podcast or show that just started that was with the Texas Longhorns, who they themselves are having a pretty good year so far. So check all that content out again at fanbattlesports.com. We appreciate everybody coming by and all the comments. We'll give Houston this week, but next time when we go to Houston, it's going to be a spanking. So please check out our Twitter, go to YouTube, like, share, comment. We really appreciate that. And Cody does a fantastic job putting out content on Twitter. Sometimes it is, I wouldn't say questionable, but it's fun. It's fun. We'll put it that way. But again, everybody, appreciate you coming by, and have a good week, and we'll see you in London.
Press Taylor, you fucking suck at your job, dude. I'm gonna come down there and beat the fuck out of you, boy.